So the Panther has lost all of its systems. Let me take a look real quick at something. So the main thing I'm concerned with is, do we have another one of those PPCs? The question is it worth my time to repair that Panther or just sell it? We did manage to get ourselves a Javelin. Pretty bad condition. Probably would want to sell that too. I could put this down into cold storage. I mean, it doesn't have any weapon systems. I mean, I think you lose the weapon systems. But that doesn't really matter because its weapons were destroyed anyway. I think the Javelin is a sell. We just have to think about whether we want to do what we want to do with the Panther. I think putting in cold storage is fine for now. But it might be past the days when that Panther is going to be effective because there's too much damage. It doesn't have enough armor, although the damage output it can do is effective when you're overwhelmed with that kind of damage out there. Yeah, I'm going to assume that my pilot did something stupid to make it worse, but let's just go to the market, and I'm going to sell the Javelin, because I'm not going to use that, I don't think. And we get some of the money that we just lost back a little bit. So we're almost to 6 million. Okay. As I said, I think I'm going to keep the Panther in cold storage for the meantime. The Centurion did lose its AC-10. That's not a new story. We've seen that happen multiple times. That arm just seems to want to fall off. Left arm was also lost, and the leg was lost. So this is going to be a very expensive, very long repair. I don't know if I have a replacement AC-10. Maybe, maybe not. Ballistic weapons. I do. I have 2. So we can repair that thing without too much difficulty. There's nothing in the left arm. I don't think there was anything in the legs. So we should be okay there. Let's go do the thing that they want us to do, which is go talk to him.
Hey, mate. These bleeding mechs are gonna put me in an early grave. Fix one bloody thing and something else goes to shit. Of course, it doesn't help you pilots treat them like you're in some kind of demolition derby or something. You know the phrase, cost an arm and a leg? It was made for you mech jokes. No worries though, eh? Fahad'll fix them up good as new. Nothing better to do, eh? Alright, that's me, mate. Rough day, what can I say? Best go on and let me get back to work. But no worries, Commander. They'll be better than you when I'm done with them. You have my word.
So was the whole point of that for him to bitch at me? Wow. Thanks, game. I almost wonder if this mission was that hard so that your mechs would get beat to hell so that he could bitch at you. Alright, let's go talk to her.
Commander, I've got great news. Having identified the pattern that Black Inferno have been leaving in their wake, I've been able, with the help of Spears, to track some of their movements. We're trying to home in on their base of operations. For the moment, we don't have all the pieces of the puzzle, but I think it's only a matter of time now.
That's great.
Spears has been working closely with me on this. He just sent this transmission. Take a listen.
Rihanna, using the information you sent me and by correlating the refugee movements we've been tracking, I ordered my intelligence people to start focusing their efforts on a very specific region of space. I was hoping to pinpoint Inferno activity in as close to real time as possible. My gamble paid off. It appears that Inferno forces recently seized a refinery from a private consortium and are using the fuel reserves to help power their operations. Commander, this refinery represents a high-value target. By attacking it, you can deliver Inferno the first blow of many on your way to dismantling their operation and getting revenge for your father's death. I have no doubt that's been your plan since the day Inferno struck Cavalier Base. I'll help in any way I can. I've started by sending you the coordinates to the planet where the refinery is located, along with what little intel I was able to gather. It's not much, but enough so you won't have to go in completely blind. Good hunting, Commander. I'll be in touch.
I've already added the coordinates into the nav system and put together a briefing from the intel Spears provided. Once you get us to that system, Commander, we can send them to hell, where they belong.
Amen to that.
You know, I never bothered looking at this console. Does this show you the system you're in now? I'm curious, if we went to Terra, if it would look like what Terra should look like. Well, okay, so we're just back onto the increase your reputation, take contracts, and expand your company. Granted, it might still have that mission on the board here, so let me take a look at the star map. Actually, hold on, home. Yeah, first strike. We have to look at that first. Alright, Commander. There's a civilian settlement on the way to the refinery. Spears wants us to protect it from Inferno forces. He has an interest in safeguarding it for whatever reason, and he's willing to pay us for our efforts. 100,000 C-bill is not necessarily the best pay. Our second primary objective is the refinery's fuel storage depots. There's 3 of them. We blow those up, we help starve Inferno of the fuel they obviously need. The way into the refinery itself is fortified. Once you get past the initial defenses and gain entry, expect stiff opposition. They won't let go of their prize without a fight, so watch your back. Good luck. You know, I never really thought about that, but is this kind of destruction we've been doing appropriate for the Third Succession War? Because they put limitations on this kind of thing because of the devastation that had happened during the Succession Wars, so that they didn't all get knocked into the Stone Age like they were trying to do to each other. Alright, well, in any case, let's go ahead and accept. Now we can look at where it is. Okay, it's over here. We were planning to go, I think, to this area anyway because of the difficulty of the missions being 7, which is where we're at reputation-wise. Okay, so all the more reason to get the Capellans to like me, I think. Maybe, that's a multiple mission. I don't want to go to Nanking and do those missions. Terra Firma has a demolition contract. Kind of a little out of the way, though. Alright, well, we could go to Halloran here. That's 27 days, 27 days. It looks like 27 days no matter what we do, unless we want to go even further away. So yeah, Halloran, 27 days. We do all the repairs we need to do. It might be maybe a 20-day jump to Footfall, but I don't know if I'm going to go to Footfall right away. If it keeps on this trend of being very high difficulty missions and low drop weights, I hope that doesn't happen again, frankly. But if it does, I'm not sure what we're going to do. There's also some high reward contracts down here that we could do. We already took a look at this one. This one I wasn't all that interested in. But there's 2 down here. I mean, we needed to make it to an industrial zone, so probably a good idea to head over to Halloran here. That's also 27 days. I think I already checked that. We get a pretty significant discount in Davian space, so probably should go there. I don't know what I'm buying, but yeah, if it's 27 days no matter what, I think we go for it. So let's travel. Yeah, I think you're right. I don't remember Yang really complaining too much. Maybe like once or twice, but nothing serious. Okay. First, let's go to the barracks.
Formation briefing and drop preparations.
Captain McRae might be okay. Let me take a look at the skills to make sure. So, bad and ballistic weapons. I don't really use that many ballistic weapons. More skilled in missiles. Generally not that skilled here. Most of the skill points seemingly are on these abilities, which I don't mind. This would definitely be a pilot for development. Now, my pilots, we've got a 43 cap, we've got a 28 cap, we've got a 22 cap, a 21 cap, and a 28 capped Griffith. You know, I kind of forgot we picked up Griffith. So if I were to go to this next area, we technically have 4 pilots. The 2 that are injured, they're out for at least another 30 days. and then this one 43. So with that being said, probably a good idea to pick up maybe one more pilot just in case we lose another one. Pilots aren't really all that expensive in the grand scheme of things, so
Ready for mission briefing and drop preparations.
if I were to pick anyone up, it'd probably be MechRay. MechRay's, again, not all that skilled in the weapons unless we give him something that uses missiles, which I do technically have a decent number of mechs, and we have to get him more experience. Actually, is it a him or a her?
Captain ready, Commander.
It is a him. Numerous generations of Captain MechRay's family were workers on a once proud Liao shipyard. Over the years, the company's fortunes dwindled, and it eventually faded into irrelevance. Suddenly, able to forge a life outside of the shipyards, he decided to take his destiny into his own hands as a mercenary. As a novice mech warrior, he has an overall lack of proficiency in the cockpit. In his eyes, he's not a hero, or he's no hero, nor is he setting out to be. Captain MechRay just wants to collect a reasonable paycheck every little while. I think that's a reasonable expectation out of life. Yeah, I think we pick up MechRay. Probably not going to be a pilot we use a lot, but out of the pilots that are here, I think probably the best one. Like, he's the equal of this guy up here, as far as the weapons handling, but better in every other area. Braswell is good with energy weapons, but that's the only real thing that this particular pilot is any good at. Pyle here is good at all the weapon systems equally. Decent back here, but frankly, I think MechRay is just better. The only thing that Pyle is better at is the reduction of damage, but MechRay is better in every other regard, so I think we hire him.
You're ready to stop wasting my time?
Especially if you're going to have that kind of attitude, Mr. Pyle. First name Gomer, probably. I'm not sure how many of you guys got that reference. I think that's what they call a boomer reference these days. Alright. Let me go ahead and take a look at our roster here. And hey, we have pilots that all look different. So that's good to keep track of everything. Although you two both have yellowish armor. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at our market now. As far as mechs go, hey, our first Enforcer. It's the first time I'm seeing one of these mechs. It might not be a bad pickup. It's fairly cheap, too. Griffin 1N, I don't really have a lot of interest in, although we've seen PPCs be fairly effective. It might actually be a better mech than I'm giving it credit. Phoenix Hawk. We already have one. I'm tempted to pick up the Enforcer. Now, we already have, what, how many 50-ton mechs at this point? I think we have the Trebuchet, we have the Crab. Oh, thank you for the follow there, MTLGD. Yeah, so we have the Centurion, we have the Crab, we have the Trebuchet. I feel like there's one I'm forgetting. The Enforcer would be a decent mech in the hands of my the AI, because it's got the large laser and the AC-10, which could give us some good fire support. I don't know. I mean, the Panther was very effective for us from that with the PPC, but I don't have enough experience watching the AI use them to be to give an assertion on that. So that may be true. I don't know. The good thing about the Enforcer is it's fairly survivable. It's got pretty good armor. We'd have to replace a large laser, but I don't think that's a big deal. Before I buy this, though, because I don't think I should make a quick decision on that. As I said, we already have a bunch of 50-ton mechs. Let me take a look at equipment real quick. Quality 2, AC-20. No real interest in that. I wouldn't mind a Hunchback if I could find one. Yeah, these systems lately have been really having bad quality weapons. Nothing really that we would want to pick up. Just check for double heat sinks. I don't think we'll find any, but yeah, just single heat sink. Okay. So in theory, the Enforcer might not be a bad pickup, and we do technically have a slot open, although the Panther could fill that slot. We just have to do extensive repairs to it to make it fill that slot. Alright, so let's do the evaluations here. So we have two 55-ton mechs. We have 140... really wish this was in order. You know, I'm just gonna sort it myself, just so I can kind of figure out what all I have here, so that we can figure out what we want to do. So 55 ton mech, 55 ton mech, 50, 50. The only other 50 we have would be the crab there, and then we've got 45 tons, and then the assassin, which is so this is our mechs in order, and if we put the Panther over here, that would be in order as well. So in theory, we have 3 35-ton mechs, 1 40-ton mech, a 45-ton mech, 3 50s, 2 55s, a 65, and a 70. These two are hard for us to use now just because of the drop weights we're dealing with, unless we want to go in with less mechs. And in my experience, it's usually not a good idea. Having more mechs, even if they are piloted by dumb AI, is better than going in with a heavier mech for yourself and less pilots. Just so far, from my experience, that's been the case. So I would prefer not to do that. I'd like a full lance if I can get it. It's more mechs to spread the damage out on, more or less, is a way to think about it. So would we want a 4th 50-ton mech? Eventually, we'd kind of want it, and we potentially have too many 35-ton mechs. So I could sell the Panther and use the money I get from that to buy the Enforcer. I don't know, it's a tough call. Because I feel like the 35-ton mechs have their place. I don't know if the Enforcer's enough of an upgrade over what we already have, even though it is a solid mech. I think with the money we have, we should probably not get too carried away. So what I'm going to do is I am going to repair the Panther, even though it might be pretty damn expensive to do so. Okay. Let's start off with the simple ones. Repair, 6 days, good. Centurion, this one's going to be extensive repairs, so we'll wait on that. Repair, 6 days, fine. Okay. Now for the Centurion, this is going to take some doing, but be able to figure it out. So let's just start off with repair all. So we lost all of this ammo and the heat sinks. That's unfortunate. So that probably had an ammo explosion if I were to guess. Yeah. I'm gonna guess I was an ammo explosion, especially considering how injured the pilot was. I feel like that's probably what happened. Okay, well, let's start off with the AC-10. We do have a replacement. Then the ammunition. I don't know how much I have of this. I technically have enough to do how much we had before, so go. And then we had 2 heat sinks, if I remember correctly. Okay. Yes, I have seen it. I've seen one hit me in the face. Well, not necessarily in the face, but hit me with the that's what effed up the Kintaro that I piloted a couple missions ago. Okay, yeah, that looks okay. Pretty much putting it back in the state it was in. 31 days to repair, so this is probably going to be out for a while, which is unfortunate because this is one of our better mechs. Alright, start work. Okay, Panther. I might not be as quick to use the Panther in the future, especially with as high of a difficulty mission as we were in. Alright. Let's see what we can do. So, edit loadout. So we had a quality 2 PPC in this thing. I don't think we're going to put another one of those in. I'm just going to put a quality 1 in. I'd prefer to save the higher quality PPCs for better mechs. Let's get our detailed loadout here. SRM4. Again, quality 1 here. As much as I could do a quality 2. No, I didn't get the Enforcer. I decided against it because we don't really have a lot of money right now. So I'm going to save up and do what repairs we have, and we'll do a couple more contracts and then we'll decide from there. But it's good to finally see the damn Enforcer. I've been wondering why we haven't been seeing it, because, you know, that's a very common mech in Davian space, and we've been in Davian space for a while now, so... Okay, ammunition. I don't know where the ammo is in this thing, typically. I'm going to put it over on the left torso. Maybe it goes in the center torso, but I kind of prefer not to do that. What am I forgetting? We've got 10 tons. Am I tripping here? I mean, what else is there to do? I mean, technically the jump jets, but I think I had those uninstalled. Oh, heat sinks. That's what we're missing. Thing probably has a bunch of heat sinks. Don't know how many is in a typical Panther. I would say probably at least 6. Yeah, this is one of those things where I wish I had a technical manual here so I knew what the default of Panther was. I mean, if I was thinking on this on terms of, like, the tabletop game, BBC generates 10 heat. Now, I don't know if it's the same here. 8 heat. Whatever. But it generates 10 heat. And a mech typically has 10 heat sinks by default. The SRM-4, I think, generates 4 heat. I'm ignoring what this game says because the statistics on the heat is, like, all over the place. And then you have the jump jets, which, again, I'm not going to have installed. So 6 jump jets, I'm sorry, 6 heat sinks or additional heat sinks would probably be enough to curb that, but it could potentially have up to 18 heat sinks, which would require another 2 heat sinks. That's probably not a bad thing to have. So I'll put a heat sink here, and then I'll put another one over on this side to kind of balance things out. And then we've got 2 tons left over, which I'm not sure what I'm going to spend on. I guess we could armor this thing up a little bit more. Yeah, let's do that. At least a ton's worth of armor, and then I'll decide after that what we're going to do. 13 heat sinks, according to Sarna? And ammo in the side torso. Okay. Well, I don't think we need more than 1 ton of ammo. That's 320 rounds, so that's probably plenty for a single SRM-4. I'm not going to use the jump jets because AI doesn't use them anyway. Yeah, so we're going to try and get this thing up armored a bit, because it has been lacking in that regard, especially the arms. The arms have a tendency to fall off on us. I feel like what really is killing this Panther, though, is it exposing itself in the rear, which is not really a whole lot I can do about that. If the AI decides to do something that's stupid, there's really nothing I can do about it. And then we'll put the last bit of tonnage in the head. You know, it's not a bad idea. LRM, what could we fit in there? LRM-5 is as big as it would let me do. I wouldn't want to use as high of a quality LRM-5. I mean, I don't know what other time I'd use an LRM-5 of that quality. And it's not likely going to get damaged. Yeah, probably not a bad call. Kind of use it as a mini, a mini Griffin. I mean, a Griffin would have an LRM-10 instead of an LRM-5. In theory, it is higher damage. Well, actually, no. You'd have to make that assessment with the SRM-4. It's slightly less damage, but whatever. So this shouldn't get damaged unless the mech gets entirely cored out. And then we need the ammo. Yeah, it's so an LRM-5 is 2 tons, and an SRM-4 is 2 tons, so they technically weigh the same. So there's no real difference by switching between the two. Yeah, I think it goes for the LRMs. I think it goes 2 tons for the LRM-5, 5 tons for an LRM-10, 7 tons for LRM-15, and 10 tons for an LRM-20. I'm just pulling that out of my ass, well, my memory. So if I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that's close to accurate, if not dead on. Okay, so we still have a ton to play with. Kind of wish I had more slots to play with. Yeah, an LRM-10 would probably fit in here nicely. Well, we're maxed out on armor. I don't think we could put another ton in here. You get 440 rounds with the LRM ammo, so again, 1 ton should be sufficient. I guess we'll just put another heatsink in there because I don't know what else to put in there. I mean, I'm not going to put jump jets in this thing. It's a waste of, I think, just a waste of time for everybody. So put another heatsink in the damn thing. I'll put it on this side just in case. You know what? We'll put it in the PPC. That makes sense. You put a heatsink with the where the heat's coming from, right? So this thing will never overheat ever. As a matter of fact, this is super overkill for this mech. I don't know why I'm putting this many. F it. We don't need this many heat sinks. I'm going to put the jump jets in here, even though the mech would never use them. Because this is way overkill on the heat sinks, and I just feel silly doing it. So this is 15 heat sinks, which was more than this mech would normally have. I'm not actually sure where I'm getting this tonnage from. As a matter of fact, these jump jets are only going to be half a ton, aren't they? I don't know if that's right. I feel like this thing definitely had more heat sinks than 13. That doesn't sound right to me. We got to make this thing look, you know, pretty and everything. All right, well, we're going to go with this. Oh, okay, we're 1 ton over. So we've got a total of 1, 2, 3, with 17 heat sinks, 10 being the default. I put the jump jets in because I couldn't figure out what else to do with the tonnage, and then we have an LRM-5 instead of the SRM-4. So we kind of made it more a support mech. I think that will do. It's going to take 32 days to do. Pretty substantial time, but hey, it is what it is. All right. I'm not going to... I guess we'll do the weapon groups here. Yeah, okay, that's fine enough. I figured it would be fine. Okay. We're good to go. I might have wanted to check the Centurion's weapon groups, because it might have done something weird on me, but it'll probably be fine. Because it should have had the weapon group 1 open, and I would assume it would have assigned the autocannon to that, but we can always double check it later. Okay, we're more or less done. 31 days, 32 days, 6-6. Okay, that looks fine. Hopefully we're not having too many problems with the stream. Let me know. I know Ego's having problems. Oh, okay. Well, thanks for joining me anyway, Ursi. Alright. Now let's figure out where we need to go. So there is a contract in Hunan, raid contract. There's several in Footfall. I figure we just head over to Hunan. We're not going to have all of our mechs available for this contract, but I'm not going to wait 30 plus days without getting money, so this will only take 13 days to get here. Then we'll do whatever contract. That will also spend some time. And then we'll probably go down to some of these other systems and just do a bunch of contracts. We do have a black market here too. Not that they're necessarily going to do anything there, but sometimes you never know. We already took a look at the pilots. I don't remember if I hired one. I think I did. Yeah, we got McRae.
You ready to stop wasting my time?
All right, thank you, Bajera, for checking on that. I have like a small number of drop frames, but that might have happened a while ago, so I don't know. Okay. All right, let's go to Hunan. I think that's a perfect place to go. Of course. And the campaign mission is over here. I might want to check the transmission too to see if any of those high reward contracts have popped up on the comms so we can see what they are. I might have to get closer though. Quite a bit closer. Yeah, I don't have any messages here. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the market. See what's in here. So... Blackjack, Shadowhawk, Urban Mech. Hey, there's an Urban Mech. I've fought some of these before, so this is not the first time I've seen one of these. Let's go to the equipment, though. All low quality. Got a quality 2 LRM-10, but I already have 3 of them, so I don't really feel a need to buy that. Alright. Sorry about that, Ego. Okay. Let me go ahead and see the contract. It is a 35 difficulty. It is a Capellans. Let's see who it's against. House Davian. I don't mind doing some missions against House Davian, though. Drop weight is 230. Thank God it's actually reasonable for the difficulty. Yeah, and I want to get relations up with House Leo because we're going to be in their space seemingly for a while now. So it'd be nice to get some discounts on their end of the spectrum. And we've already maxed out our relations with House Davian, so it'll probably take quite a lot of work to get them to hate me. Alright, so we just get 6 points. I'm going to keep on the salvage shares, so we get 12 points there. And I'm going to put the remaining point into damage coverage. The only problem with doing contracts with House of Liao is we just don't make as much money as when we were doing them with Davian, because I got just so many more points. I would have had 11 points for this kind of contract if I had that kind of relationship. But we have to work towards that, so it's going to be a little painful for a while. Alright, let's go ahead and accept this contract. Alright, so thankfully, because we have more tonnage to work with, I can use my heavier mechs. So we're just going to jump into the Grasshopper right out the gate. The Centurion is not going to be used because it's damaged. I'm just going to throw a mech in here and we'll kind of see where we're at. So the Shadowhawk should be... Actually, I like the idea of using the Kintaro. Maybe the Thunderbolt here. Let's use the Thunderbolt. I'm going to put the Kintaro in here. I think this is probably too much weight. And I'm not really thinking about... Alright, so we're 10 tons over. Well, this is not bad. We're almost able to use the best mechs available to us. I'm also going to have to remove the pilots that I have in use right now. Alright, so... we either have to switch what we're using in the place of the Trebuchet, or the Kintaro. I think the Kintaro is probably going to be the one that I change. If I were to change it, we need to go down to at least 45 tons or lower. The Trebuchet I may switch out for the Crab or something else. I'm not 100% sold on whether or not we're going to use that mech. It has not been all that effective for us so far. But yeah, I think we're going to downgrade. I guess the Phoenix Hawk is going to be the one we downgrade to. So now we're exactly where we need to be from a weight standpoint. Okay, so Pierre has to go, even though he's our most skilled pilot. Well, technically Freeman is our next most, but potentially more skilled. Well, our two most skilled pilots are going to have to go. Alright, so let me think about what we have here. So I have the Thunderbolt, which has a mix of all three weapon types. But primarily we're looking at an LRM system, so missile system, and then energy weapon. So that's going to be our priority. McRae's half decent at that. So I'm going to go ahead and pull him right now. And then the Trebuchet is definitely missile weapons, which Stockton is probably going to be the best one to put there from a skill standpoint. So Stockton is going to go there. Okay, so then we have the Phoenix Hawk, which is just pure energy weapons and then a little bit of ballistic weapons. I believe I kept the machine guns in there. I did. So with that being the case, it's between Griffith and Stubbs, and I think Griffith is going to be the clear choice here, as energy weapons is definitely better. And then the ballistic weapons is also... It's not quite as good with Stubbs, but the ballistic weapons are machine guns. Not really the primary way that this mech does damage. So I guess Griffiths is going to take place here. And Stubbs is just going to sit this one out. So let's evaluate what we have. Again, I could change the Trebuchet out for like a Crab or something, but the downside of doing that is that it would be more on energy weapons, which is kind of a weak point for the pilots I'm using right now. And Stubbs is definitely a weak point there. She's more a ballistic weapon pilot, which we really don't have very many mechs. We were using her primarily in the Blackjack at the time, but we sold that mech, so we don't really have a lot of ballistic weapons anymore. Yeah, so I think this is going to be our best choice, because the Crab is entirely energy weapons, which is not really the skill set that we have right now. Alright. This is going to be the Lance we use. Hopefully we can get some experience into McRae and Griffith. These are pilots we haven't really... I don't think we've used these pilots at all yet. So, there we go. At least it'll give them an opportunity to get some experience where we need them to get experience. Okay. And then my pilot in the Grasshopper, which has been a very effective mech, having used it in the past. Okay, let's ready up. I think we're more or less good to go. Yeah, I'm very happy with the Grasshopper purchase. I wasn't 100% sold on that one yet. Look how much taller the Grasshopper is to the Thunderbolt. It's kind of hysterical. This mech is, like, huge from a height standpoint.
Reactor online. Sensors
It kind of throws me
online.
off.
Weapons online. All systems nominal.
This is a surgical strike, Commander. Our client wants us to take out a number
Alright, let's
of
see where the
structures
objective
within
is.
this vicinity.
Alright,
Scan
as per
points
normal, it's
onto
behind
your
us.
map and identify the specific buildings our client wants destroyed. Then take them out.
Oh, we're stuck in behind the dropship.
Eliminated.
Alright, lift off, dropship. We're out. Okay, good. It's out of our way now. Okay, destroy target locations. Once it's closest is off to our... It looks like they're all in a line. So, we'll head where it seems like there's a way to go. Ooh, turret.
Target destroyed.
Yeah, it looks like here. This is a dead end. I really wish these maps were easier to read.
Enemy destroyed.
What am I running into? There, we got a helicopter.
Target down.
Another enemy contact over there. Hopefully they got it. Alright, looks like our way through is here. Which I would have never guessed based off of this map. Oh, I guess here it does look like an opening. Alright. Ow! Yeah, it looks like we can keep going this way.
My kill.
Good job.
Target acquired.
Another helicopter. Alright, let's not get off track, though. I have to remember I have jump jets. Yeah, we want to go down that way.
Target down.
A lot of enemies.
Target acquired. Target destroyed.
Can you please not walk in front of me, Mex? Alright. Well, hopefully they can handle that situation.
Kill.
Doesn't look like we can go down that way either. So it looks like we are off this way.
Target destroyed.
Alright, this looks like it might be the way down.
Target
Hello.
acquired.
Hi, bastard!
Target destroyed.
Got him. Go another enemy.
Acquired. Incoming missile. Target destroyed.
Alright.
Enemy destroyed.
Oh, here's one of our objectives. Oh, there's stuff behind me.
Down.
Objective down.
Oh, okay. Alright, cool. Now we're on track.
Target is down.
Alright, die turret. Okay.
Enemy destroyed.
Okay.
Target acquired. Target destroyed.
Alright, I feel like we can't ignore this medium mech, even though it's kind of distracting us from the...
Target destroyed. Target acquired. Jump jet fuel low. Target destroyed.
Alright. Oh, the VTOLs do heavy damage if they hit you. Alright, that one almost hit me too earlier.
Eliminated.
Okay, let's get out of here. Well, to the next objective. So, Griffith has taken a lot of damage in that Phoenix Hawk, which I'm not surprised. I saw him taking a beating from that Wolverine. That's why I stuck out that fight. It's good to be able to hit things at range, too. Like that. I'm going to slow down a little bit, because although I am just the same speed
Target acquired.
as some of my ally mechs, they're falling behind a little bit.
Target is down.
Oop.
Target destroyed.
Let's not have that thing fall on me.
Target acquired.
You're not going to get in behind me, Dick. Goodbye.
Target destroyed. Tango eliminated.
These mechs are so tiny compared to me. Go, go, go.
Target is down.
Alright, go, go, go. Objective.
Taking heavy damage.
Target acquired.
I think you guys can handle that.
Target mech eliminated. Target destroyed.
Okay.
Scratch that target off the list. That's the last of the targets, Commander. Now get back here before hostiles converge on your position.
Alright. Back to the, let's see where it is. Okay, not that far away.
Target acquired. Target destroyed.
Goodbye. Alright, how's everybody doing? Thunderbolt's taking decent damage. Phoenix Hawk, we already knew about that. Looks like the Trebuchet's been doing pretty well.
My kill.
A lot of flying contacts in behind us. I'm assuming the allies have that. Oh, that's a heavier.
Heavy fire. Breaking up.
Oh, oh. Hopefully that's our dropship. I think it is. Alright, I'd say that was a successful mission. We'll have to see what the extent of the damage on the allies is, but... I mean, in theory, Leo, it makes me a bigger target, but
Successful.
so far, this mech has been pretty amazing. I didn't really take all that much damage, all things considered. I mean, granted, you have to take into the quality of my armor, which I'm very, very, very heavily armored. Makes up for that big profile a little bit. And the BattleTech I'm going to say the tabletop game because that's usually what I'm, drawing references from. The Grasshopper is one of the more durable mechs for a number of reasons, but it's not. They call it the zombie mech because it's hard to kill. All right, so we're going to grab ourselves a spider. Is there anything cool in here before I move on? Not that I see. Okay. Probably worth more to me to pick up 2 locusts versus 1 spider. Unless I pick up other things with my shares. Because this would be 2.8 million versus 2.5, but then I'd have 5 shares to pick up other things. Now, I take a look at this from a mathematics standpoint, and these are all worth 2 shares. Which I guess makes them worth 100,000 per share. So in that case, AC5s would be worth the most. By a slim margin. And it doesn't really matter what we take here. In theory, this is going to be worth more because of the... yeah, again, doing that formula, 125,000 per share, so... Yeah, I think that's what we're going to end up taking. From a value standpoint, that's the better thing. I'm probably going to sell some of these AC5s because this is going to be my 4th one. Although there might be a time where we want to use all 4 of them. Like something like a Yager mech, you could use all 4, and that'd be probably crazy with 4 burst fire AC5s. That sounds fun to me. Alright, I think that's what we're going to do. Alright. Continue. I'm not sure when we're going to be able to sell the spider, but we'll just keep it in cold storage until I get that time. Alright. So, all things said, we get a total payout of 846,000. Damage taken was 351,000, only 172,000 of it being covered. So we did definitely take more damage than we had covered, which I'm not too surprised with. The Phoenix Hawk lost an arm, so... I think that's the left arm. So that's not as key as the right arm. The right arm is the one you definitely want to keep a hold of. Thunderbolt looks okay for the most part. Yeah, I think I saw the Phoenix Hawk lose that arm. As far as damage output goes, we had by far and away the highest damage output. We also took the least amount of damage, which is somewhat surprising. The Phoenix Hawk took the most damage. No, actually, no, the Thunderbolt did, but second most. Very close to the Thunderbolt in damage output, which is very surprising considering that the Thunderbolt should, in theory, do way more damage. Thunderbolt was somewhat disappointing for 277 damage, but considering it took very little damage, I'll take that. I was watching some of its shots. A lot of its ammo was wasted because it was firing LRM-15s against like a single, like, I don't know, a helicopter that a single one would have killed it easily. They would fire both of those at it and waste a lot of its ammunition. All right. So the main thing that took damage is the Phoenix Hawk. So it lost a machine gun and medium laser. Those are easily replaceable things. Not sure we're going to do that replacement here, though. Although that being said, what's the game plan? That's usually what you want to figure out here. So one thing we could do is we could just jump over to this system here. It'll only be a 13-day jump. And then we would be, you know, fairly close. This is probably only a 13-day jump or a 20-day jump at most. And this is probably a 20-day jump. So we would be within 20 days of just about anything. Probably not a bad idea because it gives us time to get our pilots back, as they should either be back or very close to being back. 5 days, 18 days. So by the time we go back and do those repairs, we'll be fine. Money-wise, we're still not necessarily doing that great. We've been hovering around this 5 million point. I honestly think this is the right call, because we do have extensive repairs on the Phoenix Hawk, and technically the Thunderbolt too. And who knows, we might need those mechs. Especially the Phoenix Hawk, because it fills that hole perfectly for 45 tons. I think we go here, to see what's there. Maybe we could go to pilot. And if not, maybe a good mech or something. So, let's go ahead and travel here. It's so close, why not?